work. And when we're going to teach him, some more refined movements, instead of using the regular lead rope, we put the zephyr on him. It's kind of like putting your dancing shoes on when you go to dance class. We don't use our hiking boots. So the ropes are wonderful. However, if I want him to pay attention to more refined movements, I put this zephyr on. And because he's high-headed, I'm just going to run it at the side. From the side ring up to the top ring. Really simple idea. Oops. And now I'm going to, as they do here at Great Chimneys, really pay attention. We never have a loop around our hand. We have a little different way of doing it, but it's sort of like getting ready to dance. I'm going to ask him to come forward. And we have several ways of doing this. And we have given different animal names to the various leading positions that we have. Yes. Because when I give it a name, when I hold my wand like this in the middle, I imagine this knob is the trunk of an elephant. And this is a position in which I have the most control over a horse. And I'm asking him a little to lower his head as he walks forward. And what we would do, you notice when he stops, he brings his head up and he gets a U-neck. His neck is tight. That's why when he's under saddle and they ask him to stop, it's his habit of lifting his head and tightening the back and tightening this muscle. And it's just a habit. Lots of horses have it. And it can be changed. Come forward. Can you lower your head and step forward? Thank you. Good boy, walk forward. Step forward. Now he's not sure what I mean. The reason that I say what I want is when I actually verbalize it, it makes my picture clearer of what I want. Because most of the time when we're working with animals, our head is somewhere else. It's not there. And hopefully he won't step forward, because then I'll show you the next thing we do. He just did it again. And walk. Says what? See, he doesn't understand this because it's different from what he's used to, that's all. It's no, so actually when they don't come forward, I think what we need, because I want to show you a way that we have one of the exercises. Here you can see that he is really nervous about what comes around his back leg. And by really nervous, he's not really nervous. On a, a 1 to 10, it's a 5 nervous. Many horses are much more nervous than this. But by giving him a sense of where his hind legs are, very good, that will give him a new level of confidence. Good. Yeah. And it's quite interesting that the majority of horses under saddle never really learned how to go forward from a signal. So I stroke, and walk, and I ask with my left hand forward, and see, he says, what? Because he doesn't understand that. So I think that's neat, because when I give him another connection behind, he's going to be able to release his neck in a different way. So instead of saying, oh, what's wrong with this horse, I think, good, we have to get this. Now, this exercise, where I'm holding my lead in one hand, and the one in the other is called the dingo. That's it. It was named after the Australian dingo. Good boy. Good. And now that's called cueing the camel. We have to be in Australia when I came up with all these names. So it says tap, 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 3 taps, because that's how a camel pushes down. And that his neck used again. And you see this? This is what I mean by this technique. So again, you say, oh yeah, well, interesting. then he will be better balanced. So we have to show this to him. So instead of me just kind of doing the same thing over and over, which I think is defined as insanity when it doesn't work, I'm going to give him some other bits of information. And we don't have to keep doing the same thing. I'll come back to that. So, I'm going to begin now. What I just showed you were some of what we call the dance exercises, where I move him between two hands. And now I'm going to start to ask him to be able to release the neck. I wish I had known this 30 years ago when I had 60 horses in the barn. When you have a horse as high-headed, you need to bring the back up in order to get them to release this neck. And for those of you not in the horse world, you cannot imagine all the stuff that is sold, all the equipment that is sold to get the horse to give the head. But as soon as you take it off, they go back to the same old place because we have to change the posture. We have to give him a new sense of how to use his body. Now, when you turn, okay? So one of the things I'm going to do here is I want you to see how to bring the back up. These are just many, many different ways, little movements that we can make with our horses so that so that they can understand what it is that we're asking them to do on the saddle. Now, by contracting the abdominal muscles, he lifts the back and releases the back line.
How much pressure are you using?
Whatever it takes for the horse. And in the beginning, I just stroke and I do a little lift. That's it. This is not about being bionic woman. This is a little bring my fingers together and there. Now after a couple of times, I will just have to take my fingers and do a little stroke and they'll be on. Yeah, bring the back up. That's nice. Now, this underneck is the clue to this horse being able to fit into the program now. And I've seen horses and I've had horses year after year. This has never changed from the normal things that we do. We have to give them a new understanding of how to change their posture. Yeah, that's good. Now this little thing that I'm doing here, this is called the lick of the cow's tongue. And I'm doing a stroke from the midpoint to the back. And I particularly pay attention to running these strokes perpendicular to the ground because that's how the nerves come out of the spine. And the neat thing is, children can do this. They're really good at this. And if it's done a few minutes before a person gets on, that's nice. Good. Now he's not quite sure. Easy. That's it. He doesn't know. That's nice. And keep it there. I'm just doing this lightly. See, with all of us standing around, careful, let's try to stay there. He has to trust to bring his head down. And this is really good. I mean, this is such, the fact that he can do this so quickly, not knowing me, is such a validation of the way these horses are loved and handled here. You can